Others fancied. Arcady is one of them at $6.60. Rosa War $3 even. Sea Squill $8.30. Brew $5.10. You can see of those that Arcady number 2 and Brew number 6 have tightened up considerably. Striding Edge has also tightened up, but it's long odds. And as we go over the page, we'll take a look at the remaining runners here before going back and having another look at the Warrior, which is number 7, and all of those horses are at long odds. So let's go back to the Warrior, number 7. What did you make of his form, Jen?
Well, he enjoyed a nice run at Benalla and he had every chance there. It was a weak race. He did get the money. He's a horse that really excels on wet tracks. He doesn't really have that here today, so I don't think he's quite good enough for this.
And perhaps the best of the other chances, Jen, might be number 12, Mazzaro, which is showing big odds like most of those down the bottom. And Chrissy Mutz is the rider for Bevan Lemming. Hasn't he had some success since he shifted down here?
He sure has. Mazzaro was in the Moe Cup and caught 3 wide the entire way there, so you can forgive him for that particular run. I would say he's tested, though, here. I think there are easier races for him.
So sum it up in the Saab quality as they head to the gates, Jen.
I'm going 2, 4, 6, Arcady, Rosa War and Brew.
And I thought Rosa War number 4 was the one to beat from number 6, Brew. Let's find out what the bookmakers have been doing on this and maybe some information on the Derby as well. Here's Tim Gossage in the betting ring.
Yes, well, in this race, they've only come for one horse, and that is number 2, Arcady. It is one of the big shorteners of the day so far. I know we're only 3 races in, but plenty of money early for Arcady, and that means Rosa War certainly has got the drifts. It still is the favourite, but easily the best back runner is Arcady. And one at longer odds being spec'd is number 13, Lady Elate. And I will say the Derby Blackfriars is still a favourite. Not a lot of betting in the Derby. They're all waiting. I don't think there's too many Victorians that want to be on Shogun Lodge. So at the moment, Blackfriars is the favourite.
Well, that might all change later on, Tim Gossage. Thanks for that. There's the start. It starts at the 200-metre mark, one of the spectacular starts in Australian racing, especially on a day like this, right in front of the members' grandstand, right in front of the packed crowds on the lawns here at Flemington. They run about 250 metres before they start the turn, and then a lap of the Flemington circuit. Arcady, says Jenny Chapman, will run it faster than the others. Johnny Letts agrees with her. Tim Gossage has told us there's been money for her in the ring. Rosa War from Richard, myself, Dan and Gary prior to the running of the third here. And they are going to the gates for the Saab quality. It's over 2,500 metres and the starting time is 12:45. And Roy Higgins has joined us now, and we might get his thoughts on what's happening prior to the running of the third.
Thanks, Pete. I must say I was taken with the 6 here, Brew. This is the best I have seen this horse look. His whole preparation, probably on an each-way basis. I think he's come in from about $6 into $5 on the tote. Looking at him as an each-way basis, because he has been a disappointing horse, this is the best I've seen him. Certainly the 4 Rosa War, this is her type of race. She looks excellent. I couldn't fault her. The other one I was taken was 2 was Arcady.
Yes.
This is a horse that's had a lot of injuries, only had about 20 starts in his life. Gee, he's a fit horse, this guy. He's really been prepared for a race like this. And of the others, number 5, Sea School, this horse does have a lot of ability, and he did present well through the yard. So I went for a little bit of value in number 6, Brew, on an each-way basis to beat the 4 Rosa War, 2 Arcady, and 5 Sea School.
There's Arcady out behind the gates, Roy. Before
That's a
they
powerhouse.
go,
That's a real good sign. If you can just see there, he's got a real spring in his step. He's a horse that's getting on a bit, but he looks more like a 4-year-old. And because he's been sparing a race through injury, gee, he's paraded good. He really did.
He does look well. I spoke about the barriers being at the 200-metre mark. Let's look ahead to the Derby. It was some time ago that they used to actually run from the 2,400 metres as we take a look through these tote figures for the Derby, but it was too short a run to the first turn, so they moved it back to the 200. How important is that run to the first turn in a race like the Derby?
It is all important, Pete, because as I've always said all my life, I'd prefer to draw barrier 1 in the Warrnambool to Melbourne bike race. The first thing you want to do when you break out of your gates, if you're out wide or even if you're in barrier 2, is try and get as close to that running rail as you possibly can. It is a very tight turn out of the straight here at Flemington, and if you happen to get caught out on a wing, they sort of spin you around like a piece of lead on the end of a piece of string, and it really does inconvenience a horse's action. You want your horse balance going past the post. If you've got an outside draw, just make it difficult.
I might take you back to a prime example of that. 1972 in the Derby. There was a horse called Sobar in the race, which had brilliantly won the Caulfield Cup. It came here to Flemington, 11-4 on favourite. You were riding a horse called Diana. Sobar was trapped out wide around the first turn in a small field.
In a very small field, wasn't it? Very small field. I sat back and laughed all the way.
And you won the race. So that's exactly what we were talking about.
Yes, exactly right. Well, let's face it, the distance of your race is measured from the running rail.
Yep.
Not 1 wide, not 2 wide. It's measured around the running rail. So the shortest way home is on the running rail.
Thanks, Roy, and
Thanks,
we'll
mate.
catch up with you a little bit later on in the day. Roy Higgins with his thoughts and talking tactics there before the start of the Saab Quality. There's Sheer Kingston, the Brisbane and Adelaide Cup winner, out behind the gates. And out there with it is Striding Edge on the left of screen in the blue colours, trained by Graham Rogerson here at Flemington. And it is a wonderful scene here at Flemington every year as we talk about this 2,500 metre start. There's Rosa War, the favourite in the race, terrific run in the Caulfield Cup. But I just look over my left shoulder now and see these animals out behind the gates. One of them has loosened a bandage there. And they're going to take the bandage off that horse by the look of it. And not exactly sure which horse it is. Well, we can tell you there. It is number 13, and it's carrying those famous colours, black, white sleeves, red cap. A horse called Carbine carried those back in 1890, and I know that because Roy Higgins told me he saw him carrying those colours. Sorry, Roy. And also Superimpose carried those colours as well, and Sent Home will be carrying them later in the day. So they're just getting the bandages off the legs of that horse out behind the gates here as they move in. Lady Alate. Bruise $5.10. The Warrior $17.40. And you can see the movement here. That Striding Edge goes out 50 cents, but it's still at long odds at $81.20. Voodoo Beat has also been a drifter, out $20. And there is the scene that I'm talking about. Looking past the archway, just behind the gates, the big screen in the background, the city of Melbourne looking on proudly on this great day. What a wonderful week of racing, what a wonderful week of partying it is, and so many people coming from around Australia and around the world to be part of this great carnival. Dan Malicki, I know that you're proud to be a part of it every year.
Don't get much of a chance to party though, Pete, but I certainly am very proud to be associated with it. We're up to the Saab Quality race number 3, and the last of them getting ready, Gary.
Yes, look, I like the look of Sheer Kingston here, Danny. He's had the 3 runs, and this is his 4th run in this time, and he's tightened up. I'd like to see him run a bit of a race here. Rosa War and Sea Squill and Arcady, they look the main chances.
All set to go. Gates crash, away they go. Rosa War, the favourite, drawn barrier 1, jumped okay with Arcady, Nazaro, and the Warrior booting through just behind those from wider out. Voodoo Beat and Sheer Kingston racing forward today. And Lady Alate's going to be 4 deep into the first bend in the red cap, going up to about 7th out of the straight. A 2 lengths gap then to Cheviot on the rails from Ills, and 3 wide was Sea Squill. A length and a half to Zapwan getting back today, usually leads. 2 lengths away then to Brew, then Striding Edge, and Macabeo's out to last. Nazaro with the blinkers on first time today, takes the lead at the 2,000 metres, leads by a length to Voodoo Beat, and third on the inside was the Warrior. 3 wide Lady Alate trying to get in. Rosa War's left the rails, and next on the inside Cheviot, then Arcady and Ills in the middle. So Arcady's out 3 deep from drawing barrier 2. A 2.5 length gap to Sheer Kingston. Zapwan's on the fence, 1.5 to Sea Squill, another 2 lengths to Brew. Second last is Striding Edge, and Macabeo at the tail end of the field. About 1,600 metres left to go, and Nazaro is the leader with Chris Munce the jockey. It's a length and a half in front. Voodoo Beat is second. Third on the inside was the Warrior getting a nice run. Lady Alate has been trapped 3 wide. It's on the outside of Rosa War, and Cheviot down on the rails 6th. Outside of it was Arcady. It's also been asked to cover a bit of extra ground. Then Ills in the middle in the black colours. 1.5 to Zapwan on the inside of Sheer Kingston. 2 lengths to Sea Squill on the inside. And going back to the tail end of the field now, Striding Edge inside of Mackie Bayo as they work along the back. They've got about 1,000 metres left to travel, and the leader is Nazaro by a length. Second is Voodoo Beat, and on the inside was the Warrior. Lady Alate has always been wide. Rosa War's had a lovely run. Arcady 3 deep around it. Next is Cheviot on the inside of Ills. A length and a half to Zapwan, then Sheer Kingston. Macabeo making a move, and then came Sea Squill. Brew and 2 lengths away Striding Edge as they work up towards the turn. About 600 metres to travel. Nazaro just led. Into second spot is Voodoo Beat, and Lady Alate's been wide the whole trip, but going up into third spot. The Warriors down on the rails 4th. Rosa War looking for a run. Arcady about to hook 4 deep. Not quite a run there for Rosa War yet, but she's trying to push through. Nazaro at the 400 lead. Rosa War's out to challenge though. Arcady's on the outside, and the Warriors getting a rails run. Arcady, Rosa War took the lead together. The Warrior getting through on the inside. Sheer Kingston running a race. It's Arcady, Rosa War, the Warrior pushing through Sheer Kingston. Then Sea Squill, Arcady, Rosa War and the Warrior. Rosa War and the Warrior on the rails. The Warrior and Rosa War, they're going to hit it locked together. Pop of the head here. Pop of the head, nothing between them. The Warrior and Rosa War. Sea Squill not far away from Arcady, who had to do it tough 3 deep, and then Sheer Kingston a better run. Nazaro, Lady Alate, Ills and then Bruce, Cheviot, Striding Edge, Zabuan, Macabeo and Voodoo Beat dropped out of it to pull up last over the line.
Well, I'm going to leave this one to you, Dan, but I think number 7 has got up, the Warrior.
I would think it has, but it's only the bob of the head, and it has. Number 7's got it, the Warrior. 7's first.
Here it is right on the screen here. You see the Warrior. Beautiful rails run. Damien Oliver had done nothing wrong on Rose of War. Had a beautiful run in the race. But the Warrior, ridden by young Grills, has got right up along the fence to grab the money.
It probably had the spot that Rose of War could have had, because Damien elected to come off the rails, Gary, at about the 2000, and the Warrior took his spot, and in doing so, Arcady, who had drawn barrier 2, was then planted 3 deep.
Yes, right, yeah, it was a caller's nightmare about a furlong out, Dan. I could see them, they were coming from all ways. Now there's the Warrior, he's got up along the fence. Damien Oliver's 3 off the fence, and the one outside is Arcady. The one right down the outside here is Sea Squill. I thought that was going to go over the top of the wall and ridden by Jimmy Cassidy. But here's these jockeys having a great go here. And you can just see it's just up and down with those heads here. And the Warrior's just got his head right on the line, got his head down.
It's amazing, even with the bobbing of heads, the margin can often be ahead. It just depends on the bob, and you could see Rose of War's head go down, but the margin was there to favour the Warrior. Here's the run in. They fan across the track here, Gary. Most of them look to have clear runs.
They did. Now that horse in the orange is Share Kingston. He's a Brisbane Cup winner. He's definitely on his way back to form. I'd say you could put a ring around him next start. Ran a great race and just needed that extra run. But getting to the line, you can see Damien Oliver one off the fence. The Warrior right on the fence. Damien's throwing everything, both boys. The Warrior just had that head down to get the money.
Well, that gives the Warrior the all-clear to start in the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. He's had quite an amazing run, this preparation, and it's been a long preparation for him, Peter Donegan. I think he started off the preparation as a Class 1 horse, so what a rise to fame that is.
And another Zabeel.
Here's Peter with the Warrior, trained by Richard Otto, who's no stranger to having horses in big cup races.
Thanks very much, Dan. Yes, another Zabeel. They just keep on winning, and there was plenty of courage in that win, Richard.
Yeah, he's a really good star, and it's proud of him. Yeah, he's really done well. He was Class 1 horse when we brought him over, and we always planned on the cup, and hopefully we're going to always get in the back door with a really lightweight, and everything's fallen into place. So.
Well, you're in now. Can he match it with the big guns?
Well, the biggest thing, he'll run 2 miles. You know, he'll go real hard to the line. A very similar to horse I had years ago, Narbotto. He's very similar. Probably lacks that little bit of class, but you know, at the end, 49 kilos at the end of it, he's going to be very strong. So
hopefully, I might be talking to you about 3:30 on Tuesday.
Oh, it'll be wonderful. But no, really happy.
Good on you, Richard. Well done. Let's go out to Johnny Letts with the winning jockey.
Yeah, Gary Grills. Gary, you're just saying you've ridden him in New Zealand, never won on him. You won on him today, and you'll hop on him in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, I'll definitely stay with him for the Melbourne Cup.
And the way he finished it off today, you followed Damien Oliver and got the run up on the inside of him.
Yeah, Chris Mason was actually following him. Yeah, I just had a beautiful run the whole way, you know. So
3,200, no worries?
No, I don't think so. This is Zabeel, you know.
Yes, and he's the all-conquering Zabeel, isn't he? Yeah. Anyway, good luck, Gary, and good luck the Cup on Tuesday.
Thanks very much.
Good luck, mate.
There you go, the Warrior now into the Foster's Melbourne Cup on Tuesday with a really gritty staying performance. I don't think there was too much doubt that Rose of War first and then Arcady were going to beat that horse. But this Zabeel horse, the Zabeel success story continues. Really found something over the last 200 and now he comes down the roses and into the winner's circle. We'll go to the break. The Saab quality is over and done with. We'll be back with Correct Weight and the dividends very soon. Zabeel is going to have another runner in the Foster's Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. He side the trifecta in the Caulfield Cup, and now the Warrior wins his way in, only narrowly because there wasn't much in it. As you could see, it was a real bob of the head. And I'd venture to say one stride before that, half a stride before that, Rose of War was in front, and half a stride after that, Rose of War was probably in front again. They don't pay on that, though. They pay on the line, and to pay out, we need this signal.
Correct weight.
Weight is there, correct weight after the running of the third, the Saab quality, and the placing 7, 4 and 5, the Warrior beating Rose of War and Sea Squill. So with weight there, dividends become official, Dan.
the Warrior, whose previous start was in the Benalla Cup, and he won that. So the last horse to win the Benalla Cup and Melbourne Cup in the same year, I think it's only happened once. It was Black Knight in 1984. 7 the Warrior pays $16.40 the win and $4.10 the place. 4 Rosa War 160, 5 Sea Squirrel 260, Quinella 27.60, the trifecta 461.60, and the race to race double for the numbers 1 and 7 pays $45.80. Tim, on the third event, bit of value creeping in there. Bookies perhaps a relief for them, and the numbers here with the correct weight 7.45.
Yeah, there certainly was a little late backing for the Damien Oliver mount in that last race in Rosa War, but it was a pretty good result for bookies all round with the Warrior just getting home. There has been some money for the Derby and the top weight, and that, of course, is Shogun Lodge. They love to stand in the way. It's a wonderful thing down here in the bookmakers ring. It is fairly crowded, I will say. I will also say that in the next race 4, a lot of specking early for number 17, Nahay, in the first emergency, Peter. 14 to 1 on the tote. Much shorter in the ring, the first emergency, Nahay, and in the next.
Yeah, not without a chance too, Tim Gossage. Thank you very much. That's the report from the betting ring. Speaking of a lot of people being here, we just caught up with David Hayes, who's great to see back at Flemington, and he drove out here and he said it was a nightmare on the roads around the racecourse.
Yeah, a lot of people coming out here to lovely Flemington.
Now the totes. Bonan, $11.40. Hula Wonder, $28.50. Noir Sear at $4.60. Rubitoff, $40. Nicola Lass, $12. Carmenes, $27. Flirty Bird, $12. These are Super Tab dividends for $1. Rainbow Bubbles at $9.60. The Bartered Bride is out. Zatella, $23 even. Then we go over the page and there'll be a couple of little chances here. Savannah at $18. Rasbrightia, $46. Rose of Dane is the favourite at $4.40. Over $100 for Bale. Our Error's not without a hope at 14. Dame Cat 68, and as Goss suggested, Nahayan, number 17, is also in contention now that it gets a start at $14.60. And you and I agree on this one.
Yes, I think Noir Sir has a very good chance in this race. Very unlucky in the Toorak handicap, and the start before almost fell at the 1,000-metre mark at Flemington. She's back in the mares class. She looks a really strong chance in this race. Number 13, Rose of Dane, I put him for second. Pete. Good mare, out of luck, and number 11, Savannah, with a rough chance.
OK, so there you have the selections, and Nicola Lass from Richard Friedman here in race 4 on the card. Hardy Brothers Classic at 125. Speaking of familiar faces, I've been looking around the place, and we might even try and catch up with a couple of very familiar faces. Les Benton, who was the man responsible probably more than most for internationalising the Melbourne Cup, is back here. He's in Dubai now.
And Greg's about to go over there. There's a few people fleeing overseas.
When you say Greg, you mean Greg Hall.
Greg Hall, yes.
He is riding for 6 months over there. And I'll tell you who else is going to Dubai. Don't know whether you know this or not. Sub-Zero.
I know that.
Sub-Zero
is
is
going to lead out the field.
going over to lead out the field in the Dubai World Cup.
Be fantastic. They'll love him over there.
Let's look ahead to the big one of the day, the Amy Victoria Derby, and have a look at the totes and see how they stand at the moment with the win and place figures. Shogun Lodge, still the favourite, $4.50. Freemason 13, Diatribe 5.90, Blackfriars 5.20. So 3 of the top 4 chances there. Troubadour big odds, Chief Scout right in the betting for Gay Waterhouse. Can she win her second derby? Royal Integrity 50, Liberty Hall $8, Cloth of Gold $6.80, and you can see the pool is already climbing up near $200,000. And over the page, those horses still at long odds. Chiming Door, Tariyama, Campamani's Unlimiting, Happy Festival, Duty Officer, Rock of the Ages, and Campamani's about the best of those. Time for the presentation now after the running of the third event, and let's join the Network Development Manager of Saab Australia, Nick Aylan.
The Chairman of the VRC, members of the committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saab's second year of sponsorship involvement with the VRC Spring Carnival, and we're very pleased to be again associated with this time-honoured and prestigious race. The Saab quality is the last opportunity for connections to qualify their horse for the Melbourne Cup. So it's always a very keenly contested affair, and today was no different. The Saab quality as our sponsored race is appropriately named because quality represents the essence of our brand. Saab is the only manufacturer represented in Australia that produces an all-turbo range of luxury cars. Saab is also the world leader in turbocharged development, and combined with that, with our commitment to producing the safest cars in the world, makes Saab a company that's very different. Our congratulations go to the owners of the Warrior, the jockey, Gary Grills, and the trainer, Richard Otto. I would now ask the owner, Mr. John Thompson of the Warrior, to come forward and accept the Saab trophy.
good save. Very good save there. Almost dropped the trophy, but it'll be in one piece to sit on the mantelpiece for the connections of the Warrior. Maybe they might have another trophy that's got 3 handles, and it's a gold loving cup come 3:30 on Tuesday afternoon. Good luck to them. The next event is race 4, the Hardy Brothers Classic. Will be back shortly before the starting time of 1:25. But let's return now to the refinery of the Marquee, as we're only about 20 minutes away from the next race here at Flemington. Here's Sandra.
What a lovely introduction. Thanks, Peter. Joining me today in the Marquee is actually the daughter of a name that is synonymous with fashion in this country, Davenport. Katie Davenport joins us today. Now, Katie's mother, Liz, is, as I said, synonymous with Australian fashion and comes from the West, but Katie set up shop here in Victoria. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, this is your second career. You were off doing something else before you decided to pick up on the business, I guess, you've been surrounded by all your life.
I started off with a master's degree in accounting and a law degree and went into international tax and then decided everyone in my family was having more fun than I was, so I said, that's it, I'm into fashion.
Now, when did you launch your first range?
I opened my first shop last September and my second shop in Sydney in July.
Now, you're showcasing some of your pieces today? They looks gorgeous. Now, fashions play an enormous part in the Cup Carnival, as do the races, and you have a couple of connections there. We're told kindly that one of Katie's close friends is Damien Oliver, the master jockey, and you guys have quite a long-standing friendship and a good relationship. You do have some inside running on the sorts of omens that Damien gets up to as he leads up to a carnival. What about something like this week? Have you had a chance to speak to him and tell us what those omens might be?
I actually like to leave Damien to his own devices the week before a big carnival. He gets a bit titchy and I would hate to distract him, so I tend to leave him alone. But before the carnival started, the whole Melbourne Cup Carnival this year, we gave him some lucky Irish coins which were given to me in Ireland to hopefully bring him some luck to carry through, and hopefully they've been working. He won the Caulfield Cup and hopefully he'll do wonderfully on Liverpool Hall today.
And that's obviously your tip today.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, well, listen, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations with the opening of your stores in both Melbourne and Sydney. It's great to see you out emulating your mother's success, and we wish you all the best. Good luck today in the Derby, and of course, our best wishes are with Damien as well. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Katie Davenport joining us here in the 10 Marquee. We'll go to a break and be back with so much more from Network 10's live and exclusive coverage of the Melbourne Cup Carnival.
It's one of the oldest races on the Australian turf calendar and one of the most prestigious. Today, some of our finest staying 3-year-olds are set to do battle in the Blue Ribbon, Amy Victoria Derby. And Sydney mentor Bob Thompson and the ever-controversial Shane Dye will go in super confident with one of the top fancies, Shogun Lodge. One of his main combatants, Blackfriars, the colt that led him home in the Norman Robertson Stakes a fortnight ago. Peter Hayes in search of his first Derby triumph. Jockey Greg Childs, his second. Perhaps the master, J.B. Cummings, can capture Derby number 6. He saddles up 3 runners. Liberty Hall, Jimmy Cassidy's mount, Cloth of Gold, and Camper Martins. Unlucky when second in the Geelong Derby trial. His conqueror, Troubadour, is also here today, and he'll carry the Rick Hall-Lacey polish. Maybe Gay Waterhouse can emulate her historic Derby-winning deeds of 4 years ago. With this fella, Chief Scout, connections looking to recoup their $50,000 late entry fee. Will trainer John Hawkes make it back-to-back Derby successes, with Freemason, Darren Gauci taking the set? Or can 82-year-old trainer George Hanlon cap a memorable career with his first Victoria Derby win? Greg Hall thinks so, and well he might, after Diatribe's convincing victories in the Stud Stakes and last week in the Amy Vase. Whatever the outcome, whoever the winner, he'll be in some rather illustrious company. The honour roll includes Farlap, Tulloch and Dulcify. And today, the Amy Victoria Derby will bring glory to one more rising star.
The ones to watch here at Flemington. You know, Flemington just doesn't come alive this Cup Carnival. The entire city of Melbourne, if not the state of Victoria, gets into the swing of things with a succession of glamorous dinners, parties and parades. Early this week, Lynn Talbot spent some time at just one of those with some feline friends.
Glamorous fashion parade after fashion parade after parade. That's what Spring Fashion Week is all about. And for racegoers looking to buy their outfits for the Melbourne Cup Carnival, it makes for easy shopping. Instead of browsing the boutiques, you can sit back, relax and have all the latest fashions parade before you. And one of the highlights of Melbourne Fashion Week, of course, is the official millinery event, Cats in Hats.
Lights, models, guest list. Just do your best, darling.
From the traditional black and whites of Derby Day to the outrageousness of Cup Day and the classic look of Oaks Day. This Cats in Hats parade features the creations of 22 of Melbourne's best-known milliners. And these hats reflect what we'll see on the heads of the best dressed at Flemington. Changing with the times, one of our most magnificent milliners, Peter Jago, has seen it all.
I think you will find that this year the renaissance is back in the millinery industry. Never before, if you go into Myer, apparently it's a cacophony of hats, and the other retail department stores are showing the same exuberance. The fact that I can supply 12 retail stores, if you asked me that 12 years ago when I first came to Melbourne, they'd go, oh, we'll display one, but they're buying them. So it's a clear indication that the hat makes the garment now. In the 60s, hats were a unique but very simple hat. At the moment, simple clothing means sophisticated and very over-the-top and elegant hats.
Dior, Lagerfeld, Givenchy, Gaultier, darling. Names, names, names. Harper's, Tatler, English Vogue, American Vogue, French Vogue, bloody ABBA, bloody Sicilian, bloody Vogue, darling. La Croix, sweetie. La Croix. La Croix, sweetie. La Croix.
Well, some of the millinery masters strutting their stuff, and what better place to showcase their talents than the Melbourne Cup Carnival. 4 days of fabulous fashion and, of course, fabulous hats. Now, one man who's out and about, Tim Webster, is joined by some of the V8 supercar legends. Hi, Tim.
Sandra, yes, these two blokes a fortnight from today will be tearing around Mount Panorama in Bathurst in preparation for the FAI 1000. Greg Murphy and Stephen Richards. Hi, guys.
Hi, Tim. How's things?
Good. How's the car?
Sensational. Really, really good. Can't wait to get up there as usual. Everyone's chomping at the bit. All the guys have been working away furiously, so we can't wait.
It seems like all the drivers just can't wait to get on that mountain.
No, it's a very special place, and like Greg said, we're all looking forward to it. We're probably one of 10 guys and cars out there that are looking to win the race, so it's going to be very competitive as per usual.
Very hard to pick a winner this year. I mean, it has been very competitive, hasn't it?
Well, also, I mean, the fact that it's Bathurst and things do happen strangely, and but it's been such a competitive year. We've got, Steve said, about 12, probably 10 or 12 different teams capable of winning that race, and really it's going to be a fight right to the finish, and you've got to stay up at the front on the pace all day long.
For those that don't know, you probably detect a little accent here. The Wins Racing team has got a Kiwi connection.
Very much so, actually. We've, out of the 2 cars running this year, I think actually all 4 drivers were born in New Zealand, so don't hold that against us.
You guys are considered the young guns of the sport, and it's interesting. You've seen Peter Brock retire. You're about to see Dick Johnson retire, so I guess a bit of a changing of the game.
Yeah, it is. It's good to see, though, as a dynamic sport V8 supercars are. It's nice to see that an inflow of younger talent, younger guys, and obviously we don't want everyone to disappear because there's a lot to be learned. So it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, of course you can see it all on Network 10. We wish you the best. Have a great drive. Very good. Okay. Greg Murphy and Stephen Richards. That's a fortnight away, Sandra.
All right, here we go. Thanks, Tim, and we'll be back with more.